Hello, hello. Late day. It's Saturday, of course. So it's day 6. And so I want you to know that you need to connect with nature. I'm connecting with a little bit right now. Because, as a body, our life has been created to require nature. We know we require the sun because of vitamin D. We know that we require the oxygen that we are getting from nature. We know that we are created in this symbiotic, synergetic relationship with nature, and we cannot spend our lives without it. So, one of the things that I have gotten out of being more present even when I'm driving, is that I am more aware of all of the nature that I'm seeing around me. It's helping me in my work, and it is really helping me to realize more and more every day that as beings and as the world, we are miracles. And so when you start to think about that, you can take that deeper into those moments of silence when you're journaling or when you are meditating, and whether you're walking, you're on a hike, you're gardening, whatever it is you're doing, you can take that deeper into it because you know that you are a part of all of these things around us. Like you were created to be a part of all of this that's around you. And another thing that I was thinking about today is just how everything fits together. Those memes where it's like, if it fits, it sits, right? Well, so just like we need this oxygen we're getting from nature, it's important to realize and become sort of an allowance of the things that have happened in your life that are here to help you become who you are now. And so when we look at even the things of disservice and heartbreak that have been brought upon us, we don't use that appropriately sometimes. It's like we need to use these things as an awakening to create something more, because otherwise, what are we doing with these experiences? We're just piling them in, and we're holding on to them, and we're passing them forward through generations. And so, if I think about things like the time I almost died from my allergies, if I think about the suffering that I dealt with just in my internal body, not just emotional, but physically, the things that I dealt with in high school. I mean, I've told my daughter about how much pain I was in, where I would just go into the ladies' restroom at school and I would just curl up into a bundle and just sob. And I don't think that if I couldn't take that experience and say, oh, I want to take everything I've learned because of that and learned about the endocrine system and learned about gut microbiota and learned about our vagus nerve and how everything fits together and use it to go forward. Think about the fact that I was born prematurely and take that forward. What would I be doing for this amazing experience of life? And so when you start thinking about all of those things that you've dealt with and all of those things that you have come forward through, you can be like, oh, heck yeah, I am a conqueror. I am badass, right? And you know that you are. So as you are working through this weekend, you really need to think about what are you creating and what have you been through and what are you going to embrace to create, to change for not just today, but for tomorrow, to make tomorrow different, to make all of creation different, and just to be choice for change. Because it's not, people think that this process is about nutrition. And yes, like I always say, micronutrients facilitate body processes. We are an energetic being in a machine, and this machine needs micronutrients. However, we really are so much more than that. And this 10-day program is so much more than that. And then you take it forward and it just continues this cascade of awareness and energy and joy. And you start to kind of figure yourself out. And you stop being an autoimmune disease. And you stop being an abuse victim. And you stop being uneducated or not enough, because you are working in synergy with this universe, with this expansion, with all that is energy, with everything around you. You are the creator. I can't see, I've got no glasses on. But yes, you are a warrior. I can't see. If I squint really hard, I'm squinting, I can see. Yes, you are a warrior. I completely agree. And so, what are we taking and making so vital and so valuable that we are just going to pack it on our backs and take it with us and never let it go? Because we are not being in this moment. You know, I know that a lot of times, because 10 days covers one weekend. And a lot of times people will break and they will, you know, they'll end up having dairy, or they'll have gluten, or they'll have something sugar or processed. You know, it just happens that it falls on a birthday and they beat themselves up because they're not getting the bigger picture, that this is greater than just a weekend. This is greater than just the nutrition. And that moment, they need to take it and move it forward and say, how can I have an awareness of what this was and what I needed to learn from it, and what else I can do, because I'm being this creation. I'm getting over this stupidity of thinking that I am a tiny, minute little individual and that all I am is this body. Because you are just way bigger than just being a body, right? I mean, think about it. I don't see why we don't get this quicker. You know, kids get it, and then we beat that shit right out of them. We're like, no, you are a person. You're going to zip it. You are bugging me today. You're going to go into your box. You're going to do as I say. You are not going to think. You are not going to be a creator. And we all do it. I've done it. You know, and so it's just so interesting that we can't look at our children and be like, oh, what are you telling me? Oh, I love that. I'm going to embrace that. And it could be, you know, the fatigue and the brain fog. You know, women, your brain shrinks when you are pregnant, and it takes a while for it to expand back out. And then you have the sleep deprivation, and so then your cells aren't doing all the revamping that they need to do overnight. It makes sense. That is why when we use 10 days out of every month to kind of reset. We reset, we focus in. We take the time to journal. We take the time to breathe. We take the time to make sure that at least for those 10 days, this body that is housing all of the amazing miracles that are us is really getting those micronutrients. Again, I will say this over and over and over, again and again and again until you get it. But micronutrients facilitate body processes. If you want your body computer to work well, you have to have all of those micronutrients. We don't do that. We forget. We like things that are not micronutrients. And that's okay. I'm not saying give them all up. I'm not saying you can't have a cupcake every now and again. I'm not saying that you can't go out and splurge and have a wonderful, dinner or something. But you have to remember that that is for the taste. That is for the joy energy. But it's not for the body processes. You have to take care of those body processes in order to have the top level of being an energetic being. So now, if we go back to what I was saying about taking what we have created and being in awareness and expanding on it, a lot of that can take place through that journaling. That's why it's really important that you take that time to journal every day. Now, what I do in the morning rather than journaling in the morning, and a lot of people do like scripture in the morning, and I think that's great. I think you should. It starts off your day with a great mindset of being in that whole spiritual space. But when I do my routine in the morning, I'm telling myself, I am this. And because I am this, I am doing this. And I am creating this. And I am attracting this. A friend of mine, Heidi, she had brought me into this whole idea of creating a life vision years ago. And I did it, and I wrote out my life visions, and, I did get something out of it, but I think that if we look at words, and the power of words, and the power of thought combined, because they can measure thought, and, even in the Bible, and they said, and he said, let there be light. Said. It just didn't happen. So I feel like there's this vibrational thing that's happening when in the morning when you're going through all of this, then you're saying things. It's funny, it reminds me of, what movie is that? Is that the, for some reason I want to call it the Sunshine Mind. With the little girl who is going to go be in the competition, and there's the notes. The dad is like, oh, I am great, I can achieve this. What better way to do it than to plaster things all around where you can see them, and when you see them say, oh yes, I am joy. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. And I agree with that. You have to have those things that bring your body joy too. It can't all be spiritual and energy if you want to experience all of life. But you can't just be like, oh yes, Little Miss Sunshine. But you can't just be like, well, body loves all of those donuts, so I just am going to eat donuts every day because body loves it. Sometimes you have to have a conversation with body and say, body, do you realize what all the sugar in those donuts are doing to your body processes? And then you say, body, let's remember and let's be aware of what we went through in the past. Body, you are a creator. You are a expansive being because you're housing me and I'm expansive, which means that you, by connection, are expansive. And you are synergy with the universe. So you can't just live on sugar. You might enjoy sugar from time to time, and sometimes if we think about us on a cellular level, so we are required to have sugar of some form. Doesn't have to be table sugar. We are required those carbohydrates because then it creates the insulin, and the insulin opens our cells from the outside so we can store energy, and movement opens our cells from the inside so we can use energy. So we have to move, we have to have carbohydrates. You can't live on no carbohydrates. If you are doing a 0 carbohydrate diet, the only thing you're doing besides, maybe getting skinny is destroying any possibility of having a healthy microbiome and facilitating body processes. So you get a choice. It is a choice. I keep saying every 10 seconds you get a choice, so you get a choice. And so if that choice is that you are going to destroy your immune system, that is your choice. That is your not being aware of what other possibilities are and what you're doing, but you're making a choice. I have often made those choices. I am often finding that I step out of awareness. That happens. We step out of awareness. It's okay, as long as we then become awareness and say, oh yes, I am now aware that I was out of awareness. And now I'm going to remember that as an energetic, vibrational, synergistic machine body, I'm coming back into awareness to take care of you. When you focus on it for 10 days a month, it makes the other 20 days on average very doable, because you are starting to build these routines that help bring you back into awareness quicker. And you start to feel the value quicker. And you start to find that the things that you desire in life are happening quicker. Because that's how energy works. And it's like energy. So it is day 6, and I wanted to really give you some things to think about, because you're going into a day that can, Sundays are often family meals, and guess what? It's okay to bring your own food to your family meal. It's okay. Your parents, your in-laws, your neighbors, your family, your spouse, your kids, no one is going to care in the long run, truthfully. And, no one's going to force you to just be judgment other than yourself. The only true judgment is what you're doing to yourself. And so, I see that you say that moving is your downfall. Well, there's a lot of ways that you can move. And so a lot of people will go to the pool to move. But you have to remember that you have to support your body processes for detox because you're taking in a lot of chlorine while you're walking the pool. So that's something that's important about that. You also can remember for moving even something as simple as a vibration plate. So they recently did a clinical research study where they had children with cystic fibrosis, and they had them spend 9 minutes on a vibration plate 4 times a week. And at the end of 6 months, they had increased their lean muscle mass by 3%. And I mean, if you know anything about cystic fibrosis, they're not getting the type of exercise generally that we are. Now, of course, my friend Shelley, she is ahead of the curve, and she realized, you know, in her 20s that she had to do exercise. And so she figured out how to do it and what worked for her. But it's important to know that there are so many options out there. You can, you know, find somewhere nearby that has a sauna, an infrared sauna. If you do a little bit of time in an infrared sauna, you're not only detoxing, and so you have to go slow if you're someone that has struggled with detox. So you start maybe with 10 minutes and work your way up from that, and then make sure, of course, that you're doing all of those micronutrients and you're getting some niacin ahead of time, and that you're taking some activated charcoal afterwards. But, you know, all of these things, they're minis that start to add up. Even just drinking water. You know, I was talking to my mom the other day, and I said, you know, because right now she's in her seasonal, where she does a seasonal job every year. And so that kind of slows down the ability that she has to do something. Now at her break, her and one of the other ladies, they do a little walk on their break. But I said, how about when you're just watching TV at night, when you're winding down after you've been at work, what if on commercials you just get up, even if you just walk around the living room, and then you sit back down when the show starts back up? That's movement. That's facilitating the processes in your body to do something more. Because our lymph system, if you don't move your lymph system, it doesn't move either. Now, you can learn, if you learn about energy medicine, you can learn how to do self-lymph massages to help get things going. You can, you know, kind of jump up and down in place or get a rebounder and do a couple of minutes on the rebounder every day. And that can help get your lymph system going. But you have to do something to stimulate that lymph. Again, the synergy, because otherwise waste just gets stuck in there. And sometimes, as you know, myself being an intuitive being, sometimes I wonder if the way that these cancerous cells end up moving around the body is that they're getting into the lymph system. And so it starts with, I know that they have found from the deodorant, they found aluminum in breast tissue of women with cancer. Well, how's it getting there? It's getting there through the lymph system. It's getting there through, you know, the skin and through the blood. And you have to make sure that you're taking care of your blood by drinking lots of water. There's all of these things, these dots. And we work on every one of those dots, these simple little steps, through the 10 days that we do this program. And then when you take on this program, you get the support for 4 months, and you get the micronutrient support for 4 months. And so by the time you get to the end of that 4 months, you have actually now completely renewed your red blood cells, which is huge for your immune system and so many other processes in the body. and you start to see change. You start to see things like, wow, my nails are really getting strong. Now for me, that just means that I can bite my nails a whole lot more. That's something that this expansive being is trying to work on a lot. It means that your hair grows a ton, which for me, you know, mother who's a giver, that then I'm like, oh crap, look at my hair. I haven't had a haircut in 6 months. But then if you take the awareness, you go, oh, look at my hair. I haven't had a haircut in 6 months. Look at how long it is. So you can take the good, you can take the joy out of any of it. It just happens to be the way that you look at it. But that is what really this program is about. It's not about, oh, do this and you're going to lose the bloat. Yeah, you'll lose the bloat. It's not about, oh, you're going to lose a few pounds. Most people will lose a few pounds. What it's really about is how are you going to reset all of this? How are you going to reset your entire being? Now that the sun's going down, that's very bright. I wonder if I can... That's really weird too. Oh, that's really weird. Oh, there we go. I think that's a little bit less like glaring at you guys. Yes, I know, Oliver. I agree. He says, oh, Mother, can't we just go cuddle? You've been gone all day. I just need a cuddles. I think we all get that. So it's important that you realize that what this really is it's about simplifying and resetting and putting down the foundation and keeping yourself moving towards the being that you already know that you are. I mean, Kate, I want everybody to just close your eyes like this. Close your eyes. And I want to envision the real you. Think about the warrior you. Think about the creator you. Think about the energy you. I want you to think about filling up your entire room, car, wherever you are with you. You are this gorgeous, amazing body, but you are this expansive, amazing energy. And so you deserve to do this for yourself and take care of yourself. So I'm going to keep doing these videos, and this simplicity shred that was just a public experience so that people would see what we were going through, that will end this next week. But then at the beginning of each month, the first Monday of each month, we start and do our 10 days together in a large group. I think we have, in the 2 different groups that we've got going, we've got about 4,000 people in each. So, I mean, you can figure that this idea of breathing and water and micronutrients, it must be having some sort of a spark in people, or we wouldn't have so many people going through it. So feel free to reach out to me, and I can go into a little more detail if you're interested in taking part. But regardless, please take to heart the things that I said and start living more in awareness and start giving yourself credit for being such an amazing you. All right? So happy Saturday. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I am going to go find myself a little corner, maybe read a book, finish my minerals, maybe jump on my vibration plate, maybe sit in front of a red light. I don't know. There's so many things to do. Oh, thank you too. I, really hope that, I'm living up to what I believe my mission is in this life. I call myself an ingredient guru. And I believe that I really am an energy creation coach, and that my place here in Earth is to really help others find that spark, to realize that they are energy, and to live up to that energy potential, mostly through awareness and nutrition. So, thank you. I love you too. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.